Hi class, Mr. Gray here, doing a math enrichment video this time on finding the x and y intercept. A lot of guys are having problems in class doing that, so I want to make sure I go over that and give you an opportunity to review that so we can get ready for stuff that we're going to do later on, like finding the y slope, finding the x and y intercept, the y-intercept and the slope in the y-intercept form and all that kind of good stuff, okay? So we'll have about 4 questions to do, and this should probably take care of all the stuff that we can get it done. All right. So let's look at the first one. So we have x minus y equals 0. Equal 1. Okay. So when we try to find the x and y intercept, what do we know about that? It's just basically that the x crosses, the x-intercept is where it crosses the x-axis, and the y-intercept where it crosses the y-axis. So all we have to do in those points is those 2 coordinate points always have a 0 in their either in their x or y coordinate. Okay, so what we'll do is just set a 0 into the equation and solve for the other one. So let's do that now. Let's find the y-intercept first. Okay, so basically what I'll do is I'll take, if I need to find the y-intercept, I'm going to put a 0 for x, and I'll put negative y equals 1. Okay, so that cancels, and now I end up with negative y equals 1, and then we know negative y is always going to be divided by negative 1, so therefore we get y equals 1. So that would be the y-intercept in this situation. Okay, and then for the x-intercept, we would do the exact same thing. So again, I'd put x x0 equals 1. All right, so this cancels, so x equals 1 is the x-intercept in this situation. Now, if you want the coordinate point, all right, coordinate point, okay, so that would be 0, 1. Okay, negative 1. And the other coordinate point on the other side would be 1, 0 for the y-intercept. Okay, and that's how you do it. Just plug a 0 into the equation and solve it, and solve for the other one. So let's do it for the next one. All right, so we have 4x plus 3y equals 12. So it doesn't matter how the equation is set up. All you have to do is plug in the value. So let's solve for the, plug in the 0 into the equation and solve for it. So it doesn't matter how it's set up. All right, so let's do the first one here. So we have, I'm going to plug in a 0 in for y here. Okay, so I'm going to do x plus 3, 0 equals negative 12. Okay, so from here, this cancels. So we have 4x equals negative 12. Okay, this is pretty easy. Divide by 4, divide by 4. X equals negative 3. Okay, done. Now, for the other one, same thing. I'm going to plug in a value of 4, 0 plus 3y equals 12, negative 12, sorry. Now, cancels, 3y equals negative 12. Kind of go fast, sorry. Divide by 3 both sides, and y-intercept is going to be negative 4, and that's it. Okay, so just plug in values of 0 into the equation and solve for them, and that's how it goes. Okay, any question? Oh, no, sorry, that was almost like I'm asking in class. I don't think there's going to be any questions on that portion. Now, the ones that people are having issue ones on the EDA on the homework problems was these kind of in the slope-intercept form. So how do we find the x-intercept with this one? Okay, so let's start with that one. So let's find the x-intercept first. Okay, so what do we have to do? We have to plug in 0 in for y. Okay, let's do that. Okay, now how do we solve for x? Remember, we got to add 4 to both sides. And we have 4 equals 7/3 x. Okay, now what do we have to do now? Remember, we said we have to divide by that amount, both sides. I think this is where people are getting the problem is in the math portion of this. Okay, so the 7/3 would cancel. Then from here, basically, we would take your 4 over 1, and then we had divided by 7/3. Okay, so we should remember what we said before, how to divide fractions. Keep, change, flip. Okay, so we're going to keep the first value the same. We're going to change this to multiplication, and then we're going to flip the values. Okay, then multiply across. So we should end up with 12 over 7, and that would be the answer to the question. 12 over 7 to find the x, x-intercept. So it would be 12 over 7. So the coordinate point would be 12 over 7, 0. Okay, looks weird, but that's exactly what what it would be. All right. Now, if I want to find the y-intercept, okay, I just have to basically set x equal to 0. So y equals 7/3 0 minus 4. So this cancels, and I end up with y equals minus 4. That's the easiest one. Or you could just look at the 4 right in here. So the 4 tells you what the y-intercept is going to be, because that's we know that from yesterday. Okay. So hopefully that helps you. All right, so let me try some more here. Let me do another one here. All right, so we have y equals -3 over 2 x plus 4. So we know the 4 is going to be the, because from last week, from the early this week, we knew that 4 is going to be the y-intercept. So that's automatically taken care of. All right, I think we get that. Now, how do we solve for the other one? We put y equal to 0, -3/2 plus x plus 4. Minus 4 from both sides. This cancels, and we end up with -4 equals 3 over 2x. Okay, -3. Then we divide by -3 over 2x. Okay, actually, sorry, it was -3 over 2. Divide by -3 over 2. So this cancels. Now from here, what we want to do is we take the 4 over 1 divided by 3 over 2. Okay, negative, negative. Now remember, keep, change, flip. Got to remember that, keep, change, flip. We're going to end up coming back to this every once in a while when we start doing these kind of slope equations. Okay, so again, -4 over 1 times 2 over -3, and then just multiply across. So that would be -8 over -3, and then just cancel those things out, and your x-intercept would be 8 over 3 equals over, and y would be 0. And that would be the answer. Okay? So again, I think the issue comes down to this portion right here of the 3 over 2 times x, and turning that into, and basically multiplying that across to the whole number here. Remember, you got to remember this KCF, keep, change, flip, and flip those values over so you can find out what the x-intercept and get this worked out. Okay? Hopefully that helps you. And like I said, if you have any more questions, please set some time with me, and I'll help you the best I can. Bye now.